This is going to be the third video in the three-letter word hack witch. So this is going to be adding the tap gesture. Right now I have my letter position right here. And then I have my letters and nothing is happening to them right now. So what I want to do is I want to make it an on tap gesture so that the letter position up here gets whatever item I've just tapped on. So I'm going to go on inside my lazy V grid, right underneath my current letter text, because this is what's displaying the alphabet. And I'm going to add my on tap gesture right into here. So to modify, I'm going to do a period, and I'm going to do an on tap gesture. For some reason, when I try to add this code, so when I hit return, it deletes everything. So I'm going to have to type the whole thing. So on tap gesture. And now I need to tell it when to start and stop. So I'm going to do this code part right here. So my curly brackets, and it's going to add a curly bracket for me automatically. Well, what I want is I want the letters in, this is my letters in the word string right here, but I want to get the letter position because otherwise it can't apply the string. So if I look at my letters in Word, I have my 3 positions right here where there's 3 positions. Remember, this actually, this to index them starts at 0, and then it starts at 1, and then that's number 2. So I know that there's 3 elements there because it's 3-letter words, but counting in computers start at 0. So what I want to do is I want to say the letters in Word. Now there's 3 places when I type on an A, I need to tell the computer which question mark to put that A into. So I'm going to say start with my letter position, which is starting at that very first one, which happens to be index 0 for letter position 0. Okay, so if that's confusing, that's okay. We got this. So down in my lazy V grid on tap gesture, I am going to grab my letters in Word because I want to say not the position, letters in Word. There we go. Because I'm going to say, all right, where do I want to put? What do I want to affect when somebody taps on the screen? Well, I want to do the letters in my Word. And now I have to, and it's even saying, the type string, which one? And I'm going to go in square brackets. I'm going to say my letter position because that actually is going to start it at 0, which is that very first box right here. And I'm going to set that, so space equals space, to my current letter. Because remember what I'm going to do, and see current letter. So now what this does is it takes my letter position in my Word, 0, and sets it to whatever letter I'm tapping on. Well, that's awesome, but I want it to progress, and I want the person to be able to tap and now to tap to the second one. So maybe I want to type in bats. Well, it's only replacing that first one. So what I have to do right underneath this code is I have to say my letter position. And every time it gets tapped, a letter gets tapped, I want to increase that letter position by 1. And so now it starts off at 0, so it's going to be this one. And then it increases by 1, so now it's looking at this one, and now when I tap again, and now it increases one more time, and I can put in bat. Now there's going to be a problem. So now it already increased by 1, and then it's going to try to put something in here. Think about what that's going to do. It's going to try to put a letter right here. So what if I want bats? Oh, my whole code crashed. That's because it's still increasing my letter position, but there's no spots to put it in. There's no question marks to refill. So I'm going to restart my code. I'm going to fix this. So what I want to do is I want to say only increase and put in the letters if there are boxes, empty boxes to fill in. So right here in on tap gesture, I'm going to put an if statement. And I'm going to say if my letter position is less than 3, then I want you to continue and do this. So I need to put this, only if it's less than 3, then I want to do this. So I need to put this inside that line of code. Easiest way to do it is to just delete out that end and put the end right down here. So now if I put bat and then I try to put an S, nothing else happens. The code has stopped because it's saying only do this if it's less than 3, if letter position is less than 3. Well, it starts at 0. I tap it once, it goes to 1, then it goes to 2, and then it stops, and that's why it stops right here, because it's 0, 1, and 2. Awesome. But that's not a very good game, so I'm going to add an alert now. So I'm going to say, like, hey, you can only have 3 letters when this person is still trying, like maybe they're getting frustrated and they're tapping, and they're like, wait, what's happening? So I'm going to do an else for an alert. So I'm going to do else, and I'm going to do open, close curly brackets, and I'm going to grab an alert. And I've already done my variables for the alert, so my show alert variable is up at the top. I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to toggle it, so true or false. And then I'm going to grab my alert title, which is currently set as an empty string, to you only get 3 letters. Now, nothing's going to happen because I've created this show alert, but I actually haven't created the alert yet. So I still have BA, whatever. Nothing's happening. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to create the alert now. A lot of coding, and sometimes you just build something and then you realize that you're coding it and you're going to do it later. All right. So my alert is going to go still inside my lazy grid right here, right below my for each loop. So I found my for each loop where my for each loop starts, and it ends down on my line 40. So right here, I've got 3 curly brackets down, and I'm going to do a dot alert here. Now, I actually do want this title key present actions, but I'm going to hard type all of this because it kind of gets a little finicky here. So I'm going to just type all of this because I want an alert and I want some parameters inside. So I'm going to do my parameters, which are the parentheses, and I'm going to say my alert title because I want to change that. And so right now my alert title, you only get 3. And then I'm going to say is presented, and it's going to do a binding to a Boolean, and that's what it's expecting. So binding, I know I need that $sign, and the only Boolean option that I have, which is true false up at the top, is my show alert, which is a true or false. All right, so that's what I want. Ooh, generic parameter. This means I don't know when to start and stop this alert. So I'm going to fix that by having the curly brackets. And now I need to be able to say goodbye to my alerts because I don't actually know what happens right now. So bats. So it says, okay. Oh, it defaults. That's awesome. I actually didn't know that it did that. So you only get 3 letters, and then I have this okay. So this is new. This okay default is new. It used to be that you just got an alert and you didn't have a way to dismiss it. So there we go. That's a benefit of the update. But I actually want it to also, when I hit OK, to also reset these letters up here, because I'm going to do some fun things with the alert later too. So I'm going to do a button, and it's going to be a title action. And that title is going to say OK, which is what we just had. And then I'm going to tab over here or select it so it's blue. Whenever I see this type of code, I'm going to hit return. And now I'm going to say reset word. Reset word. Oh, shoot. Cannot find reset word in scope. Well, that's because it's a function that I'm going to create in the next video. And what this is going to do is when that hits OK, it's going to reset all of this back to start, which is kind of a game function. So my next video is going to be the function of reset word.